Hi guys, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite products. Over the last 4 years, I've tested hundreds of different detailing supplies, products, manufacturers, entire lines. And I've had a lot of people recently ask, what is your lineup? What would your current favorites be? And I thought a lot about that because I have favorites for certain situations. So I thought that I would do a video talking about that. And maybe we'll do this annually. I can update it annually. But unlike some other YouTubers or channels that are out there, instead of doing, these are my favorite things from the year, I'm gonna talk about just my favorite things overall. Some of them might be old products, some of them might be new products. Some of them just really impressed me this year and I enjoyed working with them. And then some of them, are old favorites that have really never been knocked off the pedestal. So we're going to start off with soaps. As far as soaps are concerned, there are several different types of washes that I do. And I think that each of those has a different type of soap that it really works best with. If I'm doing a wash on a vehicle that is very dirty, I will typically at this point do the foam rinse foam method, meaning that you are foaming the car, you are letting a soap dwell, you are rinsing that off, then you are washing the car with a pH neutral soap typically, and you're doing a contact wash after you have already gotten a lot of the heavy materials off. So my favorite for the foam rinse foam, the initial foam, is Built Hambler Touchless. Touchless works incredibly well. It's sugar-based, it's biodegradable. You want to target a 2% PIR or panel impact ratio, and that with the aqua-colored tip in the Griot's garage is like perfect. You can just run it straight. It's on the expensive side, but it's not incredibly expensive, especially for what it does. And I find that it works very, very well. And I've had a great experience with it. Next, we're going to get into 3 pH systems. So if you've got a car that's really, really dirty, maybe you're looking to go as touch-free as possible, and you want to do a 3 pH style wash where you're using an alkaline and an acid as foams, and then you are doing a contact wash with a pH neutral soap. I think Labo Cosmetica, they were the ones that brought it to the United States. At least that's how it came on my radar, right? And I think that theirs is a really, really hard combo to beat. So Primus, Purifica, and Semper are the 3 in the 3 pH. Some of the Labo line is being updated with version 2. These are the original version, but they just work fantastically well. And you can foam, rinse, and then do a contact wash. And you can basically be contact washing a car that's already clean and almost not need the contact wash at all, in my experience. So I really enjoyed testing these on camera. It does use a lot of water when you're doing that, and that is something that I have a concern with because I run off of tanks. But other than that, it's a great way to avoid touching your paint with any dirt or contaminants that may scratch your paint. Detail Co. came out with their own 3 pH this year, and these are newer products. So the low pH soap, the high pH soap, and their neutral soap. I found that the performance of those was very similar to the Labo Cosmetica. I think that Eddie was going after that, and he had previously tested Labo Cosmetica and really enjoyed it. So I think that was kind of his target that he was trying to hit. I find that those work incredibly well. The Detail Co. line is a little bit less expensive. They're available in smaller bottles and larger bottles. So if you were interested in trying a 3 pH system and maybe you didn't want to invest in Labo Cosmetica, or you're looking for an alternative line, maybe you've used Labo before and you want to try something new, the Detail Co. products are actually excellent as well. Next, we get into our pH neutral washes, right? So just our standard everyday wash. I want to foam the car, I want to wash it with a mitt, and I'm looking for something that is pH neutral, that's not going to have a high acidity or a high alkalinity, and something that's targeting specific contaminants. My favorite for that right now is Koshchemi GSF. GSF works excellent. I love the smell, I love the slickness. I just really enjoy using it. It's one of the products that's stuck around for a long time. I've had it now for 4 years. I really enjoy using it. They come out with a Christmas version every year. It's called GFX, and GFX is just a Christmas scented version of GSF. It has a slightly higher pH, that's an 8. This is a 7.5. Anything between a 6 and an 8 is technically considered pH neutral. Obviously 7 is about as neutral as it can possibly get. But those two work excellent. I really enjoy using them, and they're one of the products that I buy in volume. I buy gallon quantities of because they're just so enjoyable, and they've stuck around for a long time for me. One other product that I'm really enjoying, and I've been using it more and more, is Armor Shampoo Plus. Shampoo Plus, what I like about it over GSF, I find that it has very similar performance to GSF. I find that you use a little bit less of it in the Canon. They're targeting a much lower PIR than GSF is. GSF is 1% or 1 to 100 dilution. Armor, you can put less in the Canon. So it is a little bit more economical. I also find that because it's thinner, you can run this straight in a foam cannon that does metering tips like the Griot's Garage, my favorite foam cannon, without needing to dilute in any way. The GSF, because it's on the thicker side, sometimes it has trouble pulling it through the meter tips. So usually I'll do like 80-20 GSF to water, 80% GSF and 20% water, just to thin it out a bit so it's easier to pull through the metering tip. I don't have that problem with Shampoo Plus. When I run out of GSF, I will probably switch to Shampoo Plus. It's not because I don't love GSF, I do. It's just that one thing. I really enjoy using the metering tips, and I want to move towards doing that more often. And you know, Armor just lends itself to that so much better because of the consistency of the product. There are a lot of really good rinseless washes at this point. It seems like 2023, 2024, it's really been a period where rinseless washing has gotten a lot of traction. A lot more people are doing it. A lot more people are trusting it. There's a lot of YouTubers and manufacturers that are specializing in rinseless washing and talking about it more and more, and it's becoming more mainstream. It used to be that rinseless washing wasn't something that you could do on a dirty car, and now it really is. There are a lot of really great rinseless washes. I have like 10 of them on the shelf over there. There are two that I enjoyed so much that I bought gallons of them, and that is Hero and Nemesis. I really think of these as I'm cleaning a clean car and I'm cleaning a dirty car. And what I mean by that is Hero has great slickness, it's got a great user experience, a great smell, it does a fantastic job. I regularly use it to clean the Mercedes like once a week, and it's just a fantastic experience using it. I really, really enjoy Hero. It's one of my favorite products. And it would have been hands down my favorite rinseless until Nemesis came out. Nemesis has this ability to attack and break down dirt that is really remarkable. It's kind of like Built Handler Touchless, but in a rinseless type of product. So when you get Nemesis on your mirrors, on the bugs, on your bumper, on road grime and dirt, they start melting and coming off the car. And I really enjoy Nemesis for that. I feel that Nemesis is a little bit stronger, so I don't necessarily want to use it on every single wash. I don't think that it's unsafe to do so. It's just my general feeling about it. I think that Hero, I like the slickness and the user experience of Hero a little bit better. But these two are like dirty car, semi-dirty car, and they're the ones that I go to again and again and again and again. There are others out there, like DIY Detail, really specialized in rinseless, and they teach the methods and the methodology and the product line. I think that they have an excellent product. I use both DIY Rinseless V1 and V2 this year. Their waterless wash is very good as well. I used Hydra this year and I enjoyed that. I used Pan's Rinseless this year and I enjoyed that. But these are the two that I will not let go out of stock, and that's kind of how I'm trying to think through this. If I use up all of Hydra, I'm probably not going to reorder it unless there's a new version that comes out and I want to retest. Even though I had a great user experience with it, there's something about these two that keep bringing me back to them, and I just enjoy using them. So Nemesis and Hero are my favorite rinseless washes. While on the topic of rinseless, I think that it's important to talk about the sponge, because there are a lot of these sponges out there, and there are a lot of people that don't understand the sponge also. I've seen comments on my videos before where they're like, why are you using a sponge on your car? This is a specially designed rinseless sponge. You can see that there are like cuts and fingers, and that's designed to absorb the dirt into the gaps in between the fingers and give you a nice even pressure where you're not marring your surface. There are a lot of companies that make sponges like this. I have a Phoenix EOD, I have McKee's, I have this one, I have the Ultra Sponge from the Rag Company, and I also have the DIY Detail Sponge. My favorite is this Nemesis sponge. This is another Detail Co product. Realistically, I can use any one of them. The reason that I like this one the most is because of the color, because it's this light blue color. And that seems kind of weird, but I like the ability to see how dirty the sponge is while I'm washing the car. And the DIY detail sponge has one side that's red. I actually use that side more. I prefer using that side over the black side because it's, you know, it's red and I can see dirt on it. The McKee's gold sponge, I'm probably going to like that. That's the one that I mentioned that I haven't tested yet. Everything else I have. The Phoenix EOD sponge I liked. I like the size of this a little bit better and the layout of it. I mean, it makes sense that I would like this because Detail Co., you know, Eddie is really big on rinseless. So, you know, having a sponge that really prioritizes the things that a detailer would be looking for in doing a rinseless wash, I think that he really did a great job with this. All of those other sponges, I've used them and they work effectively. The Ultra sponge is great. The DIY detail sponge is great. I washed the Mercedes for the entire year almost with rinseless, and I did not have any marring or scratching or anything like that as a side effect of doing rinseless. So, you know, truly, I think that any one of them can work really well. It's just me personally, I'm drawn to this, and this is the one that I purchased multiple of. I have new ones in the packaging in there, and it's the one that I will reorder when the other ones are gone. So there are a lot of brands that make really good glass cleaners. I have used many of them effectively. I didn't expect to see a game changer in glass cleaners, and then traceless came out. Not every nail needs to be driven with a sledgehammer. And traceless is the sledgehammer. It's insane. Now it's expensive, but it works incredibly well. I think you get what you pay for. The performance of it is outstanding. The reality though is it's incredibly strong. It's almost 100% solvent. And because of that, it's not something that I use all the time. I'm not going to buy 6 bottles of this for my house and keep one in the kitchen and keep one in my office for my computer screens. And I don't even necessarily want to use it on my computer screen because I'm afraid that it's going to break down the plastic over time because of how concentrated it is. I sprayed some on a rag and wiped off one of my Sonic cabinets, and I left a streak in the paint that I cannot get off because it actually like damaged the actual paint on the cabinet. So it is something that you definitely need to be careful with, but it is incredibly strong and works very, very well. So let me show you what I mean by this. Yeah. Panel preps don't do that. Although I will say, that is the best smelling flame that I have ever shot. All right. So for everyday glass cleaning, just normal, everyday, standard glass cleaning, my go-to has been for a long time and is continuing to be Stoner Invisible Glass. It's available in 2 different ways. You can buy an aerosol sprayer, you can buy a regular trigger sprayer. Either one of them, you can buy them in 1 gallon, 5 gallon, or 5 liter, like totes and stuff. You can buy mass quantities of it. It's dirt cheap. A bottle's like $3. You can get it at Costco, you can get it at O'Reilly's, you can get it kind of anywhere. And it just works. It works really, really well. It doesn't leave a lot of residue behind. It feels very safe when you're using it. So you're not necessarily worried about like your computer screen or, you know, having like plastic delaminate from a touchscreen in a car or something along those lines. That's what I keep in my Press-All bottle right here. I do like the Press-All sprayer, especially for this, a lot better than I do the Invisible Glass sprayer that they come with. Truly, Invisible Glass is a great product. Another one that I enjoyed using this year was this Koshchemi Speed Glass Cleaner. It's from their blue line, so it's the consumer line. They do have, I think it's just called GC, which is like a short blue of the professional line. It's got, you know, the white bottle. And I think that that was really the same as this, but both of them work really well. I enjoyed using them. I like Koshchemi sprayers. I think that they're well done and that they work very well and consistently. And they've got good atomization. They've got like these finger slots in them, so they're nice to hold and use. And for general cleaning around the garage, surfaces, shelving, different things like that, I regularly use these 3 products. McKee's N914 Rinseless Wash. I mix that up 256 to 1 in a sprayer. I find it does an excellent job on things like these wooden countertops, on my cabinets, on the outer faces, the top of the TV, you know, all of the shelves and different things like that that might have some dust or dirt on them. Because McKee's is pretty gentle and doesn't really leave anything behind, I enjoy working with it, and generally I keep a bottle mixed up of that at all times. I normally use a Marilex sprayer for that, an Industry 1000. For the stainless steel shelves, I really like both of these products. So whether you're looking for an aerosol or you're looking for a spray bottle, Wyman stainless steel cleaner is my favorite. It's a cleaner and polish. It does a great job of removing residue, fingerprints, different things like that, and leaving a nice shiny finish on your stainless steel. If you prefer an aerosol, the Zep I think is almost the same product. Like, it works really, really well. I could use them interchangeably. It's just a different preference of whether you want to use a spray on or you want to use an aerosol. For my shelves, when I'm done cleaning them, I generally go over them with Dr. Beasley's Metal Coat. Metal Coat is a great product. It helps to provide some chemical resistance for all of the sprayers and things that we have sitting on our shelves. Sometimes things do leak. You're filling up a bottle of tire cleaner and you get a little bit on the outside of the bottle, you set it there, you end up with a ring on your shelf. So Dr. Beasley's gives us a little bit of protection from that happening and helps to keep our shelving looking nice. A lot of these shelves are expensive, not just to buy, but also to ship. So not having to rebuy them or not having them get ruined is, definitely beneficial. On to wheel cleaners. So my favorite wheel cleaner for a long time was Brake Buster. And I used it regularly. I would run it inside this MTM PF22 foam cannon, and I'd fill this up with Brake Buster 1-to-1 and then spray that, foam it onto the car. I like the foam because it provides a little bit of cling, and it makes the process of the bubbles popping allows the soap to be reintroduced to the wheel again and again. And I just found that it worked really well. Now, I generally am not cleaning incredibly dirty wheels. I want to just be very clear about that. Because my cars are maintained by me and I'm generally washing them once a week, once every other week, something along those lines, I typically don't have wheels that are really, really bad. Brake Buster, I think, does a great job. I enjoy using it. It's very inexpensive. It's like $29 for a gallon right now. A foam cannon is 1 liter. If you're mixing it 1-to-1, you could fill that foam cannon up 8 times, and you could probably get 80 cars out of that, out of a gallon. So it is pretty inexpensive. I tested out a lot of wheel cleaners this year. I really enjoyed using Koshchemi Magic Wheel Cleaner, MWC. But MWC is like ridiculously expensive, and it goes fast. It comes ready to use, you spray it on a spray bottle. I really enjoyed using it, but it was like ridiculously expensive and not something that I rebought once I used it all up. What I did test and end up buying a gallon of is Armor Wheel Cleaner. So when I tested Armor, I found that the performance was very similar to Magic Wheel Cleaner, but it was tremendously less expensive and available in gallon quantities. So I ended up buying a whole gallon of Armor Wheel Cleaner, and that's what's currently in my MTM. Now I'm running that straight in this MTM. So the MTM dilutes it about 15-to-1 when it hits the car. So I'm running, a PIR of about 8%, something thereabouts. And I find that it's very effective. It's got iron breakers in it. You do end up with some staining, because your brake discs are getting hit with an iron breaker. So you will sometimes get those rust spots or stains on your wheels. So you have to be, sure to dry them out and make sure that you have them clean. But I find that it's a really, really effective wheel cleaner, especially for something that is a very dirty wheel or something that has a lot of brake dust, a lot of caked on road grime, a lot of iron concentrate on it. So for me, Armor Wheel Cleaner is my new go-to. When everything that I have runs out, I will be buying Armor Wheel Cleaner unless I test something else that happens to change my mind again. But at this point, I think that Armor is the best representation of performance and value and availability that you can currently get in a wheel cleaner. Again, there are some other fantastic options out there. I enjoy using MWC, like I mentioned. I used RWC the other day. That was good as well. That's another Koshchemi product. These are my go-to, and this PF22 is the way that I use it. On the tire cleaners. So for a long time, I have used Shine Supply Wise Guy. That's what's in this bottle right here. I mix it 1-to-1 with water. It comes as a concentrate, so a 16-ounce bottle will fill that twice. And it works very well, and I've had a good experience with it. This year when I tested out Armor's line, I was also impressed with their tire cleaner. I thought that it was a really, really good product. And it impressed me so much that I bought a gallon of it. And this will be my go-to moving forward. I really enjoyed working with it. It has excellent performance. It's great browning. It's good at breaking down thicker, glossier tire shines that maybe your car would come from a dealership with. And I find that it's more cost effective than Wise Guy. more available than Wise Guy. You can get it from more places and places where you'd be buying a lot of other products typically as well. So my go-to right now is Armor Tire. We'll also give a shout out to BDE, which is a product from Detail Co. It stands for Bug Dirt Exterior, something like that. I found that worked really well too as a tire cleaner in my testing. I haven't used it enough to be like, I'm considering switching, but it is something like if you already use Armor and you're maybe looking for something different, or if you wanted to just try something new, I think that's one of the products that's worth checking out. And it worked really, really well for me, and I was impressed with it. For panel wipe or panel prep products when you're doing polishing or trying to remove something from a panel, for a long time I used CarPro Eraser, and I enjoyed using CarPro Eraser. I felt that it worked well. I'm having difficulty getting that in California, and that made me try a couple new things, and now I no longer miss Eraser. So my favorite panel prep right now for everyday use is Armor. I think that it has a great scent. I think that it has a great user experience. I enjoy using it. And it's one of those products that I didn't really think could be made better. Like, it's just isopropyl alcohol, right? But Armor did a really good job with it. I enjoy using theirs quite a bit. I also keep Ulex, which is a Kosh Chemi product, and I keep Panel Wipe, which is a G-Technic product, on my shelves. G-Technic Panel Wipe is a much more aggressive panel cleaner than the Armor is, or than, you know, Geon Prep or CarPro Eraser, or, you know, something along those lines. But I find there are times when I need it. I find there are times when it's nice to have something that is more of a, again, a sledgehammer, just a stronger product. I also keep Ulex, and Ulex is it's more of a stripper. It's more of a, like, you need to be careful what you use Ulex on. It's closer to paint thinner than to a panel prep spray, if that makes sense. I don't regularly use Ulex. I only use it occasionally when I need to. I don't regularly use Panel Wipe. I only use it occasionally when I need to. But my everyday go-to is Armor Panel. I did also use Peleus this year from Phoenix EOD. I really enjoyed that. DIY Detail makes a good one. Pan makes a good one, Clean by Pan. I mean, there are a lot of good panel preps out there. For me, it's a little bit about the user experience at this point because they all perform really well. So my nudge is to Armor because I think that they have a great product there and I really enjoy working with it. On to interior cleaners. I used to use P&S interior cleaner. I found that it worked well. I didn't like that it's a little foamy, like it leaves like a little bit of residue behind, right? I didn't love that. I didn't think that it did well on glossy surfaces and on screens and things like that. So I found that I had to use a glass cleaner for those. So that's actually what's in my OG sprayer here, the Press All sprayer. I probably won't be reordering that, but I do have a gallon of it that I'll eventually go through because I don't hate it. I don't love it anymore. My go-to right now, the one that I'm drawn to, the one that I use all the time, is currently Pilot by Armor. I really enjoy using it. It's got a great scent. It's got a great user experience. It wipes off of glass well. It doesn't leave your dash shiny. I think that it does a great job. I did test Typhoon from Phoenix EOD this year, and I really enjoyed using that as well. One thing that's nice about them is they give you a concentrate with a dilution bottle, so you actually get a lot more product for the money. I think that it's an excellent product. It has odor neutralizers in it. I think that for dirtier jobs or stinkier jobs, it could actually maybe even be a better bet than Pilot. For me, when I'm regularly cleaning clean cars, Pilot is my go-to. It's the one that I really enjoy using. I also tested the Kosh Chemi Blue line, and I really enjoyed the multi-interior cleaner from Kosh Chemi. I think, again, not high gloss, nice matte finish, worked really well, good sprayer, good bottle, and good user experience. I could definitely use any of these and be very happy, personally. I think that they're all excellent products. I did test a lot of others this year, but these are the ones that really stood out to me and the ones that I enjoy working with. I think interiors are really subjective because scents are something that is going to linger around for a little while, and you're going to be driving your car and you're going to have to deal with that, right? So, you know, these are the ones that were best for me, but obviously there might be something different for you, and that's totally fine. I don't have a great option for carpets, so maybe that's something you guys could comment down below. I don't regularly clean dirty carpets because we don't eat in our cars and we don't make messes, and I'm not cleaning customer cars. For me, I use the P&S 3-part system, Finisher, Terminator, and whatever the other one is. You know what I'm talking about. Those are kind of my regular go-to. They're enzyme based, and there's 2 different enzymes, and they cancel each other out, and then you end up with the Finisher, which is like a peroxide solution that cleans it up. And I found that that works well. I've actually had an excellent experience. These are the only Chemical Guys products in my entire garage, but I had an excellent experience with 2 particular Chemical Guys products. One is lightning fast carpet cleaner, and the other one is Nonsense interior cleaner, interior super cleaner, or whatever it is. So this is Nonsense 1 to 10. This is the lightning fast carpet cleaner. I think that's 1 to 10 as well. And I've had a great experience with both of those. They're relatively inexpensive. You can buy gallons of them. I keep a gallon of Nonsense on the shelf. This works well for things like headliners, trying to get a stain out of something like that, or just something that's obviously you don't want to do your entire headliner with it. Like you don't want to get those wet really. When we got the white Scion, they had a gray headliner and it had like some black handprints on it, and I was able to just clean those off with Nonsense, and it actually did a great job. So those are 2 products that I kind of keep around that I think work really well, and I just don't want to be without them. I don't use them every single day. I'm not normally shampooing carpets. And when I am doing carpets, I'm generally using my extractor. It's pretty clean. We don't really have seasons here. Like we don't have winter, it doesn't have snow and salt and all of that. So our mats stay pretty clean. And honestly, when I bought my Mini, it was a 2016. I just bought new mats for it when I first got it, and threw the ones that were in it out, because it's not just the dirt and grime, it's also like the heel wear from your feet moving back and forth as you're driving the car and stuff like that really ruins the mats too. For tar removal, I use Tarex, CarPro Tarex. What's actually in here right now is Geon Tar. I switched to that for a little while because Tarex wasn't something that I could get in the state of California. Now I have Tarex again, so I'm back to Tarex. They made a low VOC version of it that's legal for sale in California, so you can buy that, and it does work incredibly well. I don't find a difference between the low VOC version and the regular version of Tarex. I don't know why they still sell the regular one, honestly. Maybe if you were dealing with like really, really, really heavy tar, the regular version is a little bit stronger. But generally I'm using this for, some rubber or road tar or something like that got on the side of the car because we happen to drive over something, a driveway being seal coated, something along those lines. And it's normally something that I use occasionally, not something that I'm using on a regular basis. I do often use it for sticker removal. So like if I'm, working on I get a laptop or something like that has a sticker that leaves some residue behind, I'll put some on a towel and wipe it off. I think that it does well. It really kills the bottles and kills the sprayers. Like the Press-All bottle, you can see that it kind of like leaches through and even bubbles up the labels. And the sprayers, it really trashes the sprayers. I'm excited to see the new sprayers that OG is going to have for the Press-All bottles and whether or not it can contain Tarex, but it's a great product and it works really, really well. I don't generally like to dress plastics. When I do, it's usually like in an engine bay, and I'm using Meguiar's Hyper Dressing still for that. 10 to 1 is the dilution. If you buy the ready-to-use that they sell at O'Reilly's, that comes in a bottle, it's a 32-ounce bottle, that's already diluted 1 to 1, so you do that like another 1 to 5, and that gets you your 1 to 10 that you're looking for. So Hyper Dressing is readily available, it's relatively inexpensive, it works very well. I have a gallon of it that's just mixed up, it's 1 to 10, and I can refill this bottle with it. That will last me years because I don't use it all the time. And we're not, again, in an environment where we're getting a lot of dirt and gunk and grime on our engines. So usually I'm cleaning our engine bays maybe once a year on all of our cars. But I do like that it leaves the engine bay looking like a satin finish, matte satin finish, and it doesn't really attract a lot of dirt. It does a great job of making everything look clean without, sucking in all of the dirt that's around you and making it stick to it to make it dirty faster. Scents. So scents are a subjective thing. So really what I'm looking for is performance and longevity and odor neutralization. So what I have in this is Fresh Up, which is a Kosh Chemi product. That works really well. It was my go-to for a long time before I found the BioBombs bars. I still do use it from time to time. I use it for, our carpet in the house occasionally, or our, you know, our guest bedroom, or spraying a floor mat or something like that, and just making a car smell nice. It's got kind of like a fresh linen scent. It smells really good. It's not very strong. It doesn't last a long time though. So I really enjoy it right after I use it, but after a couple days, like, you can't really tell that I did. But it is a good product and it works very well. So this year, I started messing around with the BioFresh bars, the BioBombs BioFresh bars. So this is Fresh AF. I like Fresh AF. I like Bevy Grape. We have that birch in our Christmas tree, and that actually worked really well. They last quite a while, and they're easy to use. You just take one of these bars, you break it in half, and you put half of it underneath your seats, and you know, it stays for a long time. They work really well, and the scents are good. They're strong but not overpowering. You know, I have never regretted doing it. I haven't had like a headache from driving down the road with one or something along those lines. Like, I think that the smells are actually really good, and that these do an excellent job. So those are my go-to right now for scents. Iron removers. I used PNS Iron Buster for a long time, switching away from that, moving towards, again, another Armor product. I will say that I tested a couple this year that were really, really great. So I did a video that was like, I used 10 different iron breakers so you don't have to, or something along those lines. And I found that they all were effective and they all worked fairly well. There's just some differences in the performance in certain situations. So for me, going forward, I'm planning to keep 2 different iron removers on my shelf. One is Sidero, which is a Labro Cosmetica product. Sidero is incredibly strong. It's a gel. It comes out, it really sticks to the surface, and it is, again, it's like a sledgehammer. It is something that is so strong and works so well, but it stinks and it's like rough to use, and I don't want to use it on a regular basis. I just want to have it in case I need it because something is really, really bad, like the Mercedes was when I first got that. As far as user experience is concerned, I think that Armor, honestly, Detail Co. has a really good one too. But Armor is my favorite currently in terms of the scent and the user experience and the enjoyment. So I would rather spend a little bit more time using Armor, especially if I was going to be using an iron breaker, than have a headache all day because I use Sidero and have my garage stink for a day and a half, and you know, everything else that kind of comes along with using a smelly caustic chemical, right? So this is my everyday. This is my only when I need it, break glass in case of emergency type of product. Again, there are a lot of great iron breakers that I've used and tested over the years. I think that you really can't go wrong with any of them. A lot of the formulas are very similar. So it really comes down to user experience, and I think that Armor's got that on lock right now. For the glass cleaners, I actually just remembered I used Netito, which is a Labro Cosmetica product earlier this year, and that's fantastic. That's one of the ones that I'm not getting rid of. I really had a great experience with that. I think it's a great product. It works really well. So that's another one to add to the glass cleaner piece. All right, degreasers. So again, this is one of those things where like I'm not really doing greasy engine work on a regular basis. Now I used to. I used to do a lot of it. And now I'm, you know, privileged to have cars that don't leak. So that's kind of nice. But when the Miata was here and when the Civic was here and the Mazda 3 was here, like we had some messy cars and we were doing like engine work. What I ended up sticking with for a degreaser is actually not a degreaser at all. It's Zepp Floor Stripper. Comes in a yellow gallon. And actually I learned about this from Fireball Tool. So you buy Zepp Floor Stripper in a gallon and you mix it 1-to-1 with water. And that's what I have in this spray bottle here. Kill sprayers, doesn't work with the press hull sprayers, like will absolutely destroy them. But the Tolcos work, and it's a great performing product. It's relatively inexpensive. Gallons of it you can buy from Home Depot. They're cheap, and it does a great job. So that's one of those gallons that I keep. That's really not like, it's not a detailing product. I've used a lot of the other degreasers out there, you know, like Green Star, which is more of an APC, and just regular like Zepp degreaser, but their floor stripper works a lot better than their degreaser does. It's probably not something you want to get on your hands, so you should always wear gloves. You should wear gloves with all these things probably, but you know, that's where I've landed, and you know, something you might want to try out. Tire dressings. I don't like shiny tires. period. I want my tires to be a matte finish, satin finish. I want them to look like they are new and they are clean and they are black, but not shiny and glossy. I don't want any sling. I don't want it all over my wheels. So my favorite right now, and I kind of keep going back to it, is the OG tire dressing, which is what's in this bottle. Comes in a gallon. You can buy it from Obsessed Garage. I know that they don't make it themselves. They get it from B&B. I forget what the original product is, but it works really, really well. It's got a great finish. I apply it using a curveball brush. I enjoy that experience, and I find that it works very, very well. Some others that I tested this year that were good, I tested Renew, actually yesterday, the Renew tire, and I found that worked really well as straight, ready to use with a regular microfiber applicator. The Detail Co. tire dressing, I think it's called Guardian, that when it's diluted 3:1 actually works really well. And because you can dilute it 3:1, it goes a long way. So you can actually save a lot of money using that, especially like if you're a professional detailer and you're looking for something that is economical. And depending on the different dilutions, if you do like straight, it's really glossy. If you do it 1:1, it's less glossy. 3:1, it's like a nice matte finish. You can kind of pick and choose your gloss level, which I think is kind of cool and I enjoy that. CarPro Pearl is a good one, an old favorite of mine. I tested out Dark Side this year. I really did enjoy using that. I also tested Ghost this year, although I didn't do that on camera. So I will talk about Ghost a little bit more on camera, and Dark Side, I'll do a separate video just on those. They're both good. They're both new. Ghost lasts a long time. But for me, I'm washing cars once a week, so I don't really care. You know, if this only lasts 2 weeks, it doesn't really matter to me. So again, different things for different people, right? So for now, OG tire dressing is my go-to. When I run out of my gallon and a half that I have, then I'll reevaluate and see if I want to repurpose. But I have some gallons, like I have P&S interior cleaner up there, and like I don't really want to use it. I want to continue using Pilot because Pilot is so much better than it, and I just really enjoy using Pilot. The OG tire dressing, like even if something is slightly better than it, like I don't want for more when I'm using it. I think that it works really, really well. Drying aids, topper, sealant. We kind of use those terms interchangeably. They are different products. So when I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of like, I've got a car that I'm drying, or it's almost dry, or I just dried it, and I want something that I can spray onto my car and get a little bit of gloss, a little bit of shine, a little bit of added protection for my coating, just something that's going to give me a little bit of slickness and, you know, not attract dust and dirt and work really well. I used Beadmaker for a long time. I had a lot of issues with dusting and attraction of pollen. So my black car would be, you know, yellow after a couple days because it had a static charge and for whatever reason would attract pollen and, you know, end up with this, we end up with this yellow dust all over the car. So I switched to OG Drying Aid, which is what's in this bottle here. And I have a gallon of it right here. This is one of the things that I actually own multiple gallons of because during COVID we weren't able to get it, and I actually go through quite a bit of product. So I ordered a couple gallons, and when they came, and I have them sitting on the shelf now. I think OG Drying Aid is still a fantastic product. I really enjoy using it. I love the slickness. I love the ease of application and the fact that it doesn't have a scent, it doesn't have coloring, it just is what it is, right? You just spray it on and it works. Now I know that it's B&B Slipstream. It's a slightly modified version of B&B Slipstream. I know that. So obviously you can buy B&B Slipstream. There's another company that also white labels that same product and, you know, makes a modification. OG Drying Aid is my favorite one because it doesn't have the, you know, the scent or the coloring. I've never had any bad gallons of it. I know there was a lot of, well, I know there was a tote or two that had some bad product in it, and some people had to, you know, strain the goop out of their products and, you know, different things like that over the years. I never had any of those problems. But I really do enjoy OG Drying Aid. It's one of the things that, again, I just kind of keep coming back to. It's one of the few things that I'm not really considering switching, if that makes sense. There's 3 products this year that I really enjoyed using, and I would consider switching to one of those potentially in the future when all of these gallons are gone. The first is Titan. Titan is a Phoenix EOD product. I found that it worked incredibly well. Again, kind of a similar usage to Drying Aid. I sprayed it onto an almost dry car and wiped it off, and it left a lot of slickness and gloss and protection, or what felt like protection to me. And I really enjoyed the user experience. I didn't have a lot of streaks. I didn't have to fight it. It was just a great, pleasant user experience that I really enjoyed. Stay Strong Detailer. I bought that because it was a fundraiser. I didn't know, I didn't really care if it was good or not good. I bought it as a fundraiser. So I bought a bottle of this to try it out. And then I've bought 4 more since then. So I actually have a pile sitting on the shelf of Stay Strong Detailer. And part of it is that it's for a good cause. But the other part of it is that it really works. And it works very well. It's enjoyable to use. It's got a good scent. The Tolco sprayers are good. It works and works very well. I tested the entire Clean by Pan line. And my favorite product from the line by far was his ceramic spray sealant. And I think that this works really, really well. It's got excellent slickness. It's a great user experience. Wipe off is super easy. The scent is a little strong for my liking. I found it, especially being inside the garage, I found it strong. But that's a minor complaint. It's just, just being honest. So that's one that I would consider looking at in the future. It will reject itself, from what I understand. So you can't apply it on top of itself on a regular basis. You need to wait in between applications, which might be better for me. I might end up using a lot less product. Another one that I used this year that I liked was Infinity by Detail Co. That needs to be diluted. So when you buy it, if you try using it straight on a car that's not wet, it'll be a streak city. But if you dilute it 3-to-1, it actually works really well. So again, it's a very cost-effective option. If you're a detailer and you're looking for something you can use on a regular basis, that's one that I would check out, because the dilution ratios, you end up getting 4 times the product out of it, which is really nice. So that's everything that comes to mind. In this video, I'm not going to get into leather care because I've got lithium and Geist, and I haven't really had the opportunity to test either one of those yet. Right now, my go-to for leather has always been Color Lock. I enjoy Color Lock's products, and I think that they have a good system that works very well. I don't know that I can clearly say, without fully trying lithium and fully trying Geist, that Color Lock is still the winner, right? I think that they all have excellent products, and they're all very similar lines and methodology. Watch out for my video that I'll end up doing on Geist in the future, and I'll talk about that a little bit more and compare and contrast to Color Lock, because I'm familiar with their products and I do have a lot of their stuff. If you were looking for a recommendation, I would say you can't go wrong with Color Lock. I think their stuff is excellent, but I was very impressed with the knowledge of RAM from Geist, and their product line seems really, really solid and very similar to Color Lock. So, I think that that's going to be a recommendable line, but I just haven't used it enough to be able to say that yet. As far as coatings are concerned, I've only tried, a half a dozen coatings, maybe 10 coatings, and there are 100 of them out there. I really enjoy, so we've had CSL, Crystal Serum Light, and XOV5, which are G-Technic products, on the Green Mini and the Mercedes for the last 2 years, and those have done incredibly well. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be trying out Thick and C6 Hydro Pro from DIY Detail. I do also have Diamond Protex coating here, and I do also have Armor's Pro coating. I think that those are some of the newer, better, higher end coatings out there. So I do want to try to test all of them so that I can have a really good opinion one way or another. One thing that I can say is Armor Detail Supply's wheel coating is amazing. If you're looking for a wheel coating, I don't know that there's any other thing to consider. Just buy that one. It's easy to apply. It works incredibly well. It does a great job of keeping your wheels clean and looking like new. And it's not that expensive. A little goes a long way. You can do multiple sets of wheels with a bottle. It just works really, really well. I checked out a bunch of coatings at SEMA. I'm also interested in trying Wax Shine. That's on my list. They have a self-healing ceramic coating that I want to try out. It's just, for me, I have 3 cars, and 2 of them are currently coated. I'm going to polish the coating off of the Mercedes in order to do Thick. I'm going to paint correct that Mercedes, the GLK, and I'm going to do C6 Hydro on that. So that's going to happen in the next couple days. So that's all. Let me know down below what you think. If there are some products that you think I might like that I haven't tried yet, some things that you're just looking for my opinion on. Like I said, I tested a couple hundred products this year. A couple hundred. And like, I had one bad experience with one product, which was a Purist P3. And that was just super streaky. Couldn't get it off the car. Had to basically polish it off the car. And, you know, it's just one of those things that I honestly need to revisit it and see, like, was it a bad application or does the product just suck? Like, you know, because I don't want to like call anybody out and say that this is a bad product, stay away from it, you know, whatever. But I did have a bad experience with it, and I shared that on camera live, and it kind of sucked. And I'm honestly hesitant to pick it up off the shelf to try it again. But it is one of the products that I have sitting over there in my, you know, I kind of have a retry pile. So there's like maybe 10 products that are in the retry pile where I've done some initial testing with them. I had a pretty good experience, and I think that I just want to revisit it and make sure that like my results are confirmed, if that makes sense. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, click the subscribe button. I'm doing reviews all the time. I'm also working on cars and doing other things as well. So it's not all detailing videos here. Some of it's garage design. Some of it is, you know, trying out different pressure washers and installing parts in my car, or, you know, doing a stereo in a Mercedes, things like that. And just, it's kind of what I'm doing. This channel is me, not really a specific topic. I do check every comment. I try to respond to every comment and make sure that I'm interacting with people. You know, if you have anything you think that I'd like, any feedback, anything like that, let me know. If you would like to see maybe a follow-up video, I was thinking I could do one on rags or tools. Rags is I think rags would be a little far out, because I know OG is redoing their whole rag line, and the House of Rags has all of their rags that are relatively new, and I've tested a number of those and enjoy them, but I haven't used them enough to like really have a solid opinion one way or another on them. So I think that rags would be a little bit further away, but maybe like tools, polishers, that type of stuff. I could do another video on those and talk about which ones I like and why. I think the reality is that our industry has gotten to a point where there are so many brands that have excellent products that really I'm looking for like what's different about this product. Like, what was the line trying to accomplish? You know, maybe a line is trying to be incredibly eco-friendly. Maybe a line is trying to be incredibly cost-effective. Maybe a line is trying to be user-friendly for a novice user. You know, and different lines of products are geared towards different types of people. And in a lot of cases, they've been developed by people that have been detailing for a long time. And they all had their things that they wanted to get out of their product line. So I guess what I'm saying is, most of the chemicals that you can buy in our industry right now are really good. A lot of them are on version 3, version 4, version 10. Some products are on version 10 before they ever get to you with version 1. Because, you know, you've got somebody who's going back and forth with a blender for months and months and months to try to get what they need. I think the Labo Cosmetica line is really solid, but very strong. I think the DIY detail line is very solid and user-friendly, and their videos make it very easy for you to learn and do the things that they do in the way that they do them and get a great result. I think the Detail Co. line is fantastic if you're a professional detailer and you're looking for cost-effective products that you can regularly use. They have gallons, they have, a lot of their stuff is really dilutable, and their entire line is very effective. Some of the older lines, you can't go wrong with P&S. You can't go wrong with CarPro. Maybe they're not the best product in every single class, and maybe there might be something that's slightly better, but it's just one of those things. Like in IT, we have this saying that no one's ever been fired for buying Cisco, because you just know they're going to work. Well, maybe Juniper is a little bit better for this one particular situation, or maybe Ruckus is a little bit better for this one particular situation. But it's a really solid line, and you can just count on it, and it's dependable and reliable. In the new year, I'm going to be trying out Maniac. I'm going to revisit the entire CarPro line, many of the products I've tried before, but I'm just going to, you know, look at the line as a whole. I have Nexen here. I have Carbon Collective here. I have CleanTool. I have Monkey Head. I have Mile Deep. And once Garage Therapy is released, I'll probably order that in a Nova car as well to try them all. It's going to be a while before I get through all these products because I only have so many cars to clean, and they're all clean. on a pretty regular basis. It was my hope to do a coating today on the Mercedes, but it's been kind of a crappy day weather-wise. Yesterday sucked too, so maybe tomorrow I'll get to do that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and have a great day.